Hi, my name is Amy and I'm one of the doctors of acupuncture at Nurturing Touch Massage and Acupuncture. And one of the top things that we see patients for is stress and anxiety. So there are a few different services that we offer that can be really helpful for stress and anxiety. One of those is regular massage for relaxation. We also offer craniosacral therapy, which is really wonderful for regulating the nervous system. We also offer acupuncture. There are some really wonderful acupuncture point protocols that are designed to help with taking your body out of that constant state of fight or flight, putting you into more of a state of rest and digest. And those point protocols, patients say, help them feel like they kind of just had everything taken down a notch. Take a deep breath. They obviously are still going to have things that happen in their life that create some of that anxiety or would initiate that, but they describe after acupuncture treatments that instead of them feeling that anxiety in their body and having to work on calming their nervous system down before figuring out how to respond to the anxious provocation that's in front of them, they instead are able to just work on addressing what's in front of them and creating the anxiety as opposed to immediately feeling that in their bodies. So it's a really wonderful way to help people be able to regulate their nervous system so that they can better handle anxious things that are going on in their lives. So those are some of the different services that we offer. We also offer lab testing. Lab testing is another way that there may be really high cortisol for someone. There may be other chemical imbalances that we can identify with labs that we would be able to address with supplements or diet or lifestyle changes that can help people to decrease the anxiety from a lab or nutrition perspective. We also have herbs that we offer. So those are some of those services that we offer that will help with patients who are dealing with anxiety. And then on top of that, there are some really wonderful lifestyle tips that I have. So many of my patients who are dealing with anxiety, I try to recommend that they actually get up 1 hour earlier per day. Initially, when you are feeling like you're just very anxious, run ragged, tired, and you are already lacking in sleep potentially because of the stress and anxiety and overthinking, it seems counterintuitive to cut an hour of that sleep and get up early. But one of the things that I recommend is this hour of time is used as what I would call fire prevention as opposed to firefighting. So a little bit of background, firefighting is basically you feel like you're constantly fighting fires all day long. This comes up, that comes up, constantly spinning plates, constantly looking at what's the next biggest thing that I have to tackle, and always feeling behind, always feeling overwhelmed. And I have a lot of patients who are like this. I myself deal with this regularly. So one of the things that can be really helpful is taking that hour in the morning. You get to start your day out with quiet space. Drink your coffee, your tea, have that alone time. And what you do with that alone time is what I call fire prevention. So doing some deep thinking about what are the fires that pop up for me the most often? What are the events that happen or the situations that I'm in that create the most stress for me, that I may be able to figure out a system to put in place so that I don't have to be in those stressful situations as often. So trying to determine what your biggest stressors are and then how to create a system to eliminate that stressor will help with you getting ahead of that feeling of constantly being behind. So a simple example, I own a business, and one of the things that I've dealt with is constantly having things come up, not being able to do things in a timely manner, feeling behind. We have new employees that we'll bring on where training has to happen for them. There was something specific that I typically trained everybody on, and that was challenging. There was a time we had 2 employees that we hired at the same time, and I was trying to find time that all 3 of us could meet so that I could just do it once. Instead of having to train each of them individually, I was trying to train them both at the same time. That even proved to be very challenging in itself to coordinate. And so one of the things that I all of a sudden realized was You know, if I were to just make a video of this training material that is important for me to know that every new hire has gotten the same training, then I should just make a video of it. And that's what I ended up doing. So I made a video that all therapists that are hired have to watch now. That's part of their training. The office manager is the one who has them watch the video as part of their onboarding. And I only had to do it one time. That video took me 7 minutes to record. I did it once, and I've never had to find time in my schedule to do that training one-on-one ever again. It may sound like that's an obvious thing. Of course, you should just do it once if you want everybody to know this, and then that way you don't have to do it again. But when we're in a constant state of fight or flight, our brains are not thinking as clearly about fire prevention techniques like this. It's feeling like I just have to do the next thing. I just have to do the next thing. And when you're in that constant state, as I mentioned, our brains don't function as well. So that 1 hour in the morning, taking that time to think of what are the things that continue to come up for me? Is there something I can do about this, or a system I can put in place? And this doesn't have to just be, business type related things. This could be creating a system of how you pack your kids' lunches or how you meal prep for the week. There are ways that you can look at what are the biggest time sucks, what are the biggest stressors, what creates the most volatility in my schedule, and how can I make some sort of system that will help me be able to navigate this a little bit better. So again, this fire prevention 1 hour in the morning, I initially started with 1 hour, now I do 2. I find that it is extremely helpful, and again, that 1 hour was so helpful that I started doing 2. So it makes you more efficient to be able to take that time to create these systems. And with that, it also allows you to be able to be a little more stress-free. That's one less thing that I have to fit into my schedule. And then I'm not a bottleneck for my available time when we have a new employee that's onboarding. So again, patients who are dealing with anxiety, I usually will talk to them about this while they're in my office space on their first initial appointment. I will also go over this with them the next time that they're in. Have you been able to start integrating some of this stuff? How are you feeling with your anxiety? Has that lessened at all? And usually patients will come in for acupuncture fairly regularly in the beginning when they're being treated for anxiety. But again, we also offer several other services that are wonderful for patients with anxiety here at Nurturing Touch. And again, always trying to equip people with lifestyle support so that they can make some of these changes that'll be longer lasting for them at home.